Yes, I know. When it's right, when it's right, it's right. It don't matter, it don't matter. When it's right, when it's right, when it's right. It don't matter, it don't matter. Don't let no girl be doing. You say he got in his armor. Look at you turning up to these sad-ass songs, man. What the fuck is this? All right, let's see if somebody said they saw you. The person you were kissing wasn't there. And I would never ask you. It's in your head, you're my baby. You ain't giving on me better. Come on, say it. Walking on me till my heart, even if it wasn't paid. Leave my notes all on the and say he's the one. You ready? But does he know you are when he
It was just so beautiful. What's up? I'm AP. I actually did a recording yesterday about this, but I don't know, I felt unsure about it. And in my nature, I was like, I don't know. So let me do it again. Because I don't think I gave it justice. Um, so, as you probably saw, I had the privilege. Well, I've been privileged this year, all in all. So, I got to attend the James Arthur concert in Austin. Then I got to attend the J Hope concert in San Antonio, and then the Jin concert in Dallas. Right, that's where they were. Yeah, a couple days ago, 2 days ago, I had the biggest blessing. Well, I mean, I kind of gave it to myself, but that's besides the point. Um, I had, the privilege to be able to attend the Weeknd's concert, and that's something that I've wanted to do forever. And I had tickets a couple years ago that I had to sell, you know. So this time I was like, I'm going. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, and my voice sounds terrible. Um, but yeah, we drove up from Corpus, San Antonio, and let me tell you something. Starting, I could barely sleep the night prior, and then driving there because I drove me and one of my good friends, Robbie. Um, Driving us there, the amount of nerves, the anxiousness, which I'm grateful that him and I, we spent a good amount of that time talking as we drove there because I think it would have been just me, just like, how's the concert? The thoughts running through my head were like, is the concert gonna be what I expected? What if like I get into a position where like I don't know songs? I was thinking like the most outrageous things, things that shouldn't even be crossing your mind. But we make it to San Antonio and we get ready, whatever, what have you. Order the Uber, and even like waiting for the Uber, I'm just super anxious. And it's the Uber's fault. He took forever and had me thinking. I was thinking things like, mind you, we're getting there early because we got the Diamond VIP. We're getting there early, so like we have ample time before Abel hits the stage. But I'm sitting there nervous. I'm just like, oh my god. And I was like, yo, I need some orange juice to feel better. And yeah, we end up getting to the venue, the Alamo Dome, and we get the bags, this that blah blah, and we get into the VIP lounge, and super cool. Which I don't know, I've seen mixed things about it. I think because it was like my first time experiencing, like a VIP package. It was I was enjoying it all, and the VIP lounges. He had, well, they had two TVs, and one had like I think Tekken, the other one had Mario Kart. They had another screen with a projector, and that one was playing like music videos. They had a DJ, they had a claw machine, they had this little spot where you could take a picture. They had food, drinks. It was super nice and all around a good vibe. Um, then we go transition into the the floor, because the time passes, we transition to the floor, and uh yeah, the floor, we get to our seats, and we're surrounded by cool people, which, so it's taking that anxiousness, that nerve, away from me. And I think the reason I have them is because, a little backstory, um through one of the darkest points in my life, one of the points where I was, for better lack of words, I was quote unquote done. Um, I was just like, yeah, I want to sleep. If you're catching my drift, there was a day where I was like, I'm ready. Mom, Dad, you're gonna get a big check. Um, and yeah, I was far gone, and by luck, because I almost always had music playing, um, and all I know started playing, and I remember thinking back, and I did like his music, but I wasn't a fan. You feel me? Like I wasn't deeply listening to his music. Um, but all I know started playing, and then I listened to the rest of the Starboy album. Then I went to, I think it was Beauty Behind the Madness and Trilogy, and I was just listening to him, and that got me out of the funk, and so that's why like I got the tattoo, the XO, but it's because, if you also see, I have the sad face plus the music note equals happiness, because you know music is like my escape, and his music happened to be like what got me out of a really dark space. Um, but yeah, I guess that's why I was feeling so anxious, feeling so nervous. 'Cause it's like it might be an over exaggeration. I know it is, but it's like, oh, I'm seeing like what saved me, like the savior. Not calling Abel, the savior, but I'm saying like his music was so impactful. Um, I hope that makes sense, but I digress. We had super cool people sitting around us, and it was just an all around vibe. We're sitting there. My boy Robbie, he's joking with everyone. I'm joking with, the women to my right, uh, and we're just having fun, cracking jokes. The openers happen, and Mike Dean happens, and he's from Texas, so he he's playing, not random, but he's playing like his little set list, And then he ends up playing Selena, and I was just like, ah, you're a smart guy. He plays Selena, and then he throws a curveball. And he plays Zero, and then I start going because it's a song titled "I Hate You, Biscuits," and I heard it growing up, so I was like, "Oh, I did not expect to hear that in a big venue." So I'm going in, but yeah, Playboy Cardi came out. I know he has fans. He has a lot of fans. Me personally, I was just like, I, I mean, I could have gone without it, but that's just me. I was like, I don't know. I didn't feel like he was really performing. I felt like it was more so the DJ playing his track, and the guitar player was doing his thing. I don't know who it was, but I guess it was like a hype man or whatever it was. He was getting the crowd amped, and he had like one dancer, which I'm pretty sure it's like a friend that I could be wrong, that he just told hey, come with us. All you gotta do is dance on stage, and you can see the world. Um, oh, that hurt. But yeah, they did more than in my opinion, Playboy Cardi. But he has his fan base. Cool. Um, and then what's funny before I get to the main reason, reason I'm making this video. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. Whatever. But then uh, people started getting upset because I will deduct points from the experience, but it's not on like the weekend EXO, none of that. It's on the Alamo Dome itself. And I feel like it's a thing that is really hard to control, and that was security. And we were section C, row two. We're there, and the people in row one, what do they have the privilege of having is they have the privilege of getting the barricade. And I saw some of those resale prices, and if you paid that much, I'd be upset too. Uh, so people from the back, and I'm talking about like I overheard one of the people that had run up, and she had said like, "No, we're way in the back." But I guess as soon as the performance was starting or whatever, she bolted to the front. And I'm talking about. I think it's A, B, C, D, and then the next one back is E, F, G. So they would have been A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They would have been G. I want to say, but they would have been like at the back of G. She said it whole like clear. She was like, "We're in the back," um, and they sprinted to the front, and now they're crowding. They're blocking the people in front. The people that are actually sitting in those seats. Um, so that kind of sucked. At security, what all can you really do? You get me? I feel like I'm lowering. Is my chair just lowering? I don't know. Oh well. But also I think all security had to do is just essentially just be like, hey, yo, 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 like post up at around, the first, second, or third row. Just have like two people there, or it could even be one, but just have them standing there. So like as people are coming up, just be like, hey, you got to stay back. Have tickets out if you're gonna go past me, something along those lines. But the people that they had, no offense, but I feel like we need to be real. If you're gonna have security, uh, have them. It's gonna come off really rude, but I'm sorry, but have them be able, have them be like able-bodied people, or like like don't just put anybody at security because people aren't gonna take them serious. And again, I'm sorry, no disrespect, but like you had a woman who was older, like older, standing up there. They had a woman that was younger who like she looked like she was maybe a teenager, and then you had they also at one point had a guy who you could tell that confrontation was not his thing, which it's not really my thing either. But I'm saying to the point where it's like if I go and like I shove past him, he's just gonna be like, oh, he's gonna apologize to me, and it's like, bro, you're security, you know, use some of the authority that you have. Uh, so people were getting upset because they're blocking him and the security's doing nothing. Um, but hey, my train of thought was I paid for my seat. I'm staying in my spot because ain't nobody gonna touch mine. um, and yeah, that was there was no point in talking about that, but that's the one thing that I would say. All right, you lose points, but again, it's the Alamo Dome that loses points. Um, the weekend comes out, and I cannot tell you how I felt because I would truly tell you that like any happiness, joy, sadness, misery, anxiousness, smile, whatever emotion. I think everything just escaped my body and was pushed to the side. Um, and I didn't know how to process anything when Abel came out. The only thing I knew to do or could do was sing. All you can do is sing, and that's probably why my voice sounded terrible yesterday. And I personally feel like it's getting worse, but I don't know. But all I could do was sing, and I sang. AP sang his heart out. And I'm telling you, I sang every song. One of the girls came on, which if you don't know one of the girls, um, it's a song where a woman. It's really I think the deeper message is like about obsession and just wanting to be like wanted by the person. So it's like you'd go to any length, but if you're just if you're just listening to it, just listen to it. It just sounds like this girl is telling this guy, I don't need love. I don't need you to be like mine. I could be butchering it, but the premise, the little messages, just do things to me in a very Hulk smash way. She's saying like she wants it, like treat her like one of those other girls. I don't know, but anyway, it's a song that I would say maybe most guys wouldn't sing. AP didn't care. AP was singing.
We don't gotta be. We don't gotta be.
And it's. I also thought it was so cool that the girls next to me and whatnot, we're singing, and as there's some points where like they're like looking at me and like singing to me, I'm singing to them, or like one of the girls, she like had her head over and she's singing, and I'm just like, back up, this is my moment. No, I'm just kidding. But we're singing and we're having all this I guess it would constitute as fun. But like we're just pouring out, and it's like the weekend even points out, he's like, look at y'all turning up to these sad songs.
Look at you turning up to these sad ass songs, man. What the fuck
Which, hey, I don't know. I think all of us here had, somewhat of the same experience or the same feeling towards the music being played, being sung, and it was amazing. Weird thing, very weird thing. I I'm not usually the type of person to record most of the show. I'm a very live in the moment type of person. I recorded a lot of the show, and I'm glad I did it because, mind you, while I'm recording, I'm singing, I'm into it. I think about it, the next day and today, and I'm just like, I don't remember certain parts, but then I'm like, I can watch the video, you know, to like get some of the memory back. And it is something that I want, engraved, ingrained, engraved, whichever one is right. I want it like in my noggin, but I also want to be able to see it, like actually see it. And I just want to relive that night again. It was such a blast for me from start to finish. Um, it was like, I don't know. I can't like add enough to it. Like I didn't know how to feel. There was only, well, my boy Ravi. He told me that he teared up and he cried during a couple of the songs, and I had one moment to where like I think sorrow, sadness filled me, but it was I want to say he came out, and I just like had the thought, and because originally I was like, I'm gonna take Genji, which is my cousin Henry, and sadly he passed away, but he was the one that got me into the weekend. So in my head, I was like, that's who I'm gonna take, uh, and sadly I couldn't. So there was that one moment where like I kind of put my head down, and I was just like, dang, like he couldn't be here. But then the weekend's voice was coming into me, into my head. um, and I looked up and it was just like listening to the song, and I was just like, I got us, Henry. I'm gonna enjoy it for us. And isn't that so powerful? The fact that like in that quick snap, the beat, the instrument and the vocals hit me, and like I was like pulled up and was just like, I'm enjoying this for us. I don't know. It was just all around beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, he did bring out Anita, which at the time, Anita, Anita. At the time, I was like, why'd you just bring her out for one song? Sao Paulo. Um, but then it makes sense. He's gonna do another tour in Europe and then a tour in South America, and I guess she's gonna be touring with him in South America. I want to say. Um, but yeah, all in all, it was such a beautiful experience. I'm glad that I told Robbie, I was like, you're lucky, and in turn I was speaking to myself, because a lot of people, you want to see him perform some of the older songs, but you also want to see like his newer songs. And during this tour, and I don't know, I want to say it was the same for everyone else too, except some people got to hear "Hurry Up Tomorrow," which I am very envious of you for being able to hear that. Um, but I think overall we had most of the songs that were the same, and hearing songs from like every album, I was just like, oh, this is beautiful. So like my first and possibly last time being able to see the weekend, I got to see everything, and I was just like, this is right, this is great. But yeah, Hurry Up Tomorrow. I would have loved to see that. Who else has to pay for my sins? My love's fabricated. Oh my god, why am I stressing you, bro? I'm sorry. And I hope that I find what I'm looking for. I would have loved to hear Hurry Up Tomorrow or mm, Dark Times. I'll be going back to the streets, making those promises that I couldn't keep. Light one up, let me bum up. So coming down, driven on. I got another. Yeah, we're gonna stop that. um, but no, yeah, it was. Those are two songs I wish I would have heard. But needless to say, everything I enjoyed, I sang. Um, I was standing for most of it, except for like one little part, but that was just so that the girl next to me could see. Uh, it was such a great experience. I thought about getting tickets to somewhere in Europe just so I could go see it again, but that's that we don't get greedy around here. If you had the privilege of being able to see it, congrats, welcome to the fam. I hope it meant to you what it meant to me. Um, yeah, I loved every second of it. He works the crowd so well.
Do you wanna go home? And look at it now. We packed the stadium all the way behind the screen. Look at that. Look at that. I think it's safe to say you guys are not mad at me for taking so long to come back to y'all, man. Well, I'm gonna make it a special night tonight, man. Tonight is the last show of this US leg. Yeah. What better way to celebrate than in fucking Texas, right? Yeah.
The crowd, him and the crowd just like mix, and he's such a performer, such a great artist, and I'm very thankful to his music. Is there more I have to say? I don't know. Ask in the comments if you're wondering anything about this tour. I loved it. If I think of something else, will I put it out? Probably not. But closing night for the weekend in the Alamo Dome was a vibe. Those are my thoughts on it. Chicken nuggets are, in fact, the wuggets. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just cut to Robbie vibing. See ya!
If you know the song, man, sing along with me. If you don't know the words, just vibe out. You know.